There is a thin divide between what is perceived as spiritual and paranormal, for they are forever entwined throughout time. Traveling within the history of the world, we can find examples of spirituality that involves everything from magic, spirits, gods and goddesses, and seers, or people said to be able to talk to the dead. We all have our belief systems and we all have our own truths. So come sit with Holly Jenkins and myself as we talk about all that and more. Welcome to Spiritually Paranormal. Yay! Hi, Simon. How are you?
Hey, everybody. Hey. What?
How are you today? I just blew in from this windstorm.
It has been crazy. Normally, I am in this office completely alone all day, the whole 9 hours by myself. I see nobody except people walking around outside visiting the other shops. My shift doesn't start till 9 o'clock, so I get here early to do my thing. One day just comes at 8:30, stays for hours, and then another agent comes in along with them, stays for a good while, and then a third agent comes in, hanging out. Oh, Mike, man.
They love you. They know you're there.
They love my energy. They coming in just to soak up some of this loving energy.
There you go. I was telling Holly a minute ago before we came on air that we've got 50-mile-an-hour winds off the lake right now. Hi, Simon. Hi, Joyce. And it's a complete whiteout, and it's 28 degrees out. The other day it was 58, 2 days ago, and it is wicked. I literally had to hold on to the side of the house because I went outside to feed the stray babies that I take care of outside. And I propped the shed door so they can get in, and there's blankets and beds in there for them. And I mean, they weren't in there. I don't know where they are, but I hope they're safe because I'd want to be in the warm blankets in the shed with food myself. But I mean, I'll tell you what, that wind pushed me back a few times trying to get back to the house. It's crazy out there right now.
It was in the 70s the other day. And then yesterday it was only, I think it might have got up to 50 something, but it was 28 at night. Ridiculous. Today it's near 70, but it's only supposed to be in the 40 something tonight, so it's not going to be as cold. But we had went ahead and planted in the greenhouse, mind you, some tomatoes and cucumbers and some bell pepper. And that cold snap that one night knocked them out.
Too early.
Just that one night. They're in the greenhouse, but we didn't put the.
Too early. You know, a friend of Taylor's got a hold of me that lives up here. Well, my grand little, and she's godmother to the little guy, and she got hold of me, and she said, I'm thinking about starting, some tomatoes and that, and I want to put my bulbs outside. I said,
only if you're going to leave them in the house.
I said, don't do that. And she said, why not? I said, rule of thumb is we're a month and a half to 2 months behind downstate. So if they're warm, we're still not. And I said, we haven't seen the end of winter. And she's like, what? Are you kidding me? I says, have you lived in Michigan all your life? I mean, hello, it's Michigan. So we can have 4 seasons in one day. I remember a time.
Same in Tennessee, the same thing here. It's just crazy. Cuckoo.
Yeah, it's just nuts. So we're going to do some cool stuff for everybody. Hi, Carol. Holly's going to kind of update us on predictions for this year and some of next year.
Now, let's just start out by saying the predictions, of course, are not across the board for every single person that listens. But if it resonates with you and it feels like it fits, then take that. And if it doesn't, then just let it go and ignore it. Don't worry about it. Because I do these predictions a year in advance, and they are, what I do is I pull the collective energy, and it'll be the people whose energy path closely matches my own, I would say.
Right.
I mean, because you can't go far off of your own frequency. So I'm not doing frequencies way down here or way above, so it's in that range of where I'm at. So let's go do a quick recap on this year. And we're going to start with next month, start with April. Anxiously awaiting April. Good news is coming and you're keenly aware of it. Anxiously waiting the good news has you feeling like you're about to jump out of your own body. Now, Mercury goes into retrograde on April 1st and stays there until the 25th. So it's going to be in retrograde most of April. But that's not a bad thing. People think it's so terrible, but what it does is it slows you down. It might throw some obstacles in your way. Don't buy electronics during retrograde. Just don't. Do yourself a favor. It's just going to be a headache. Try not to sign any life-changing documents. Read all the fine print. Make sure you understand what you're signing during retrograde. But retrograde is meant for us to take a breath, take a moment, review, reflect, and reorganize. So you can look at your plan, your path moving forward, and take that moment to reorganize it if you need to. Some people are so terrified of retrograde.
Well, my thing with retrograde is if you've already started something that you're working on or have already been moving forward with it, it's fine. I continue working it.
Finish
it. Never, ever start something new during retrograde.
Right. Unless you feel really strongly pulled, just don't do it.
No.
I follow my guidance. If my guide says forget retrograde, this thing needs to be done right now, then I'm going to do it. But as a rule of thumb, it's not a good idea. you're just going to have. It's not mean. It doesn't mean it won't turn out or it won't work. It just means that you expect more headaches, more glitches with that project.
Yeah.
It won't go necessarily as smoothly as you'd want it to be.
Yeah. So and never ever do what I did last week, and I put up never do this in retrograde because it's bad enough during regular time. Is never ever speak the words out loud. I am bored.
Yeah, no, don't do that. They're going to give you things to do. You'll get projects. That's right.
Never, ever. And I tell people.
Well, because the universe is always saying yes to you. So imagine that it's always saying yes. So if you say, I'm bored, he says, yep, let me give you something to do. Here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. It's going to give you lots. So let's get back to this anxiously awaiting. So something happens between now and say middle of April, I feel that we're going to get some sort of news that something is going to be coming that we're really looking forward to. I haven't received anything like that yet, but I'm anxiously awaiting the news. I'm ready. So let's move on to May. Making it happen May. You have all the pieces to the puzzle. You're fitting each piece in place, and you're creating the dream you never imagined. The world you used to live in no longer exists. This world is going to be more balanced and more organized and more complete. And let's see, that is for May. So you just keep putting all the pieces together, whatever it is you're working on. Now, this is the month I found interesting when I channeled it. Join the new club, June. Join the new club of cycle slayers. There have been toxic cycles running through our lives for centuries. In this life and at this time in history, we're putting an end to those cycles and creating more healing and more balance for everyone connected to us. And also the thing that I saw was I see like our circles are going to completely, I'm got the goosebumps, completely change. New people are going to be coming into our lives. And not that the old people aren't going to still be there. Some of them will be going away. Some of them will stay, but there's a whole new group of people who are going to bring some new influences, some new knowledge, some new opportunities. And it really is like you've got a completely different circle of, let's see, friends, colleagues, and supporters in your life. That's in June.
Well, you know, that goes to what we've been talking about as far as like there's a spiritual war kind of going on in the world right now with good, bad, and it needs to balance out. And this is what a lot of people are feeling, that anxiety of that. And what am I supposed to be doing? Should I be, we need to take care of ourselves. And that's what's going to happen. We're going to wind up, things are going to change. The edges are starting to begin to blur, and we're going to be overlapping people, I think, like-minded people.
Yes. Exactly.
That's how I look at it.
We're
Yeah.
getting more of those people coming into our lives and less of those people that are not. We're attracting the same energy that we are, more so than attracting the opposite energies, like maybe in the past. So July, just for fun July, man, I could use a just for fun July. I'm telling you. It says we have had 6 months of seriously hard work and dedication to our dreams. It's time to take a break from all the creating and building and have some fun. Vacation time couldn't come at a better time. So I was saying that in July, you should be able to take a break, take a breather, relax a little bit. Mercury does go, no, that's not until August. Mercury's not in retrograde during July. It does go into retrograde at the beginning and on the 4th of August. So if you want to do some traveling, do it in June or July. Don't wait till August because you're going to have more hiccups, more issues on that road trip.
Well, now Simon puts an interesting thing. I know you do general stuff.
When will the eruption stop in Iceland? I mean, they're going to stop. It's not. It's just part of nature. I mean,
yeah, it's a cycle. And again, everything is changing. And that's what I try to tell people. Like they're saying, oh, yes, humans have interfered with destroying some of the earth and the atmosphere.
Well, and we are in the part of our history where the plates are shifting as well.
Right. And everything is like a cycle. And if you look like prehistoric times, ice age times, tropical times, way back, I mean, when the earth is first charted as far as history goes, it goes through this cycle. And this is what it's going through. So it lasts as long as it lasts. And like you said, the plates are really shifting. And how long have they predicted that places like Florida will be underwater? California
for a long time. California will be gone. The whole West Coast is pretty much wiped out.
And then Michigan's going to be like the only one that has fresh water, and the Mississippi River is going to come all the way up into Canada. So, but that doesn't happen overnight. That happens over time.
Right.
Whether we'll see it in our lifetime, who knows? Maybe
we might see the beginning of it, the beginning phases of it, I think maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, so good question, Simon.
Let's move on to August. All aboard August. That's funny that I said don't be trying to travel during August, but new destinations are on the agenda for August. Discovering new places, enjoying time with those closest to you. It's time to enjoy the life you've worked so hard to create. That's in August. So it's another down month where it's like, you don't have to constantly be at this high level of production and pushing yourself so hard. You need to take that break because there's more work to be done, but not right now. Take some time to relax and enjoy that month. Searching for more September. We are on a path of new discoveries. Excitement fills the air as we explore new opportunities, new adventures, and a new circle of friends and colleagues. The possibilities are endless. The energy starts feeling even better than before. October, optimum reach October. The feeling of being connected this month might even feel a bit overwhelming at times. You're in sync with the universal flow, and it feels wonderful. There might be some not so great things happening in the world around us, which we know is coming up, especially in October, right before elections. But in our own personal universes, things are like going to be at their best. You have to just push out, like I did a video a while ago I posted about canceling the noise, stopping the noise. And that's the noise of the outside world, things that you're not going to change.
We're responsible for our reactions and actions. And
that's right.
A lot of the stuff that's going on around us, we have to keep imprinting positives out there, and those do ripple, and those do reach other people that need that. But you can't get away from good, you can't get away from bad, and you can't get away from indifference. It just is. But our reactions to it all reflects how well we're going to feel or how we're not going to feel great. It just depends on what we allow to come into our circle.
But so in October, I said, you can see where the line divides the two types of people, the good and the bad. And the good are winning while the bad are losing every battle. I love the sound of that. And again, I freaking got goosebumps all over. Yep. November. Now we have it November. This month grants us more wishes. If you're working toward a particular goal, that goal is reached. So it's good. Like if you're working towards something, don't quit now. Keep pushing, because by November, you're going to see yourself reaching that goal. New ideas begin to flow. New goals are set. New adventures ahead. We are in the sweet spot. Again, we are flowing more and more with the universal flow. And December is dedication pays off. You reached your goals you never thought were possible, and all because you stayed dedicated. So the message is, whatever you're working on now, if you're not working on something, but you want to, start now. Start where you are. It's not too late. It doesn't have to be, because this is really the beginning of our year. This is the first full day of spring. This is the true new year right here, right now. So the time to start is right here, right now. And by the end of this year, you're going to see the results and you're going to see success.
And I also think that there's going to be, like, worldwide, I think there's going to be a lot of things that are fixed or brought to balance, or, and I think that's going to take a lot of people's stress away. And it's still kind of one of those things. It can flip this way, can flip that way, where we've got conflict over the entire world. But I think it's going to be in a position where it's going to ease up enough that people won't be, like, so anxiety ridden, if that makes sense. Because I think fires are going to be started to put out, is what they keep telling me. By the end
Margaret says, never let people say that you can't change things. We have had to do good things and support each other to make life more better for everyone. Yeah, that's right. And when people tell you you can't do something, they're telling you what they can't do, not what you can't do. So let's move on to 2025 very quickly. Jump in, let's go, January. That means, hey, look, I'm going somewhere. If you want to go, you better jump in. We're going right now. I'm not waiting on you. Right. The universe says right now is the time. We have, at the end of this year, we've accomplished so many things. So we're not going to stop. We're going to keep rolling with those accomplishments and pushing forward. That's for January. February, feel the vibes. February, this month has us feeling great all around about the road ahead, positive vibes. We are transitioning from our old life to our new life. We know we are no longer that old self that experienced so many hardships, traumas, and pain. We are reborn into this new version of ourselves. Dang, I keep getting the freaking goosebumps. We have come through the fire and we're soaring to new heights, new level. You deserves all the great that's coming to you. You have to want that. You have to not want to stay where you've been. You have to want to become that new, improved version of who you are.
And not only want it, you have to allow it. And because
get out of your own way.
Allowing it doesn't mean there's no work on our end. And that's why I tell people, there's no easy button. So everything you're putting into yourself, that's what you need to take care of right now. And that's why. But you have to also allow it. You have to allow healing. You have to allow positives to come in. And if you keep putting fears out, or dumb comments like I did, you're going to get dumb sent right back to you.
That's right. So March of 2025, make it count March. Everything we do, we feel, we think matters. Every bit of it counts. So you need to pay attention to what you're thinking. Pay attention to what you're saying. Pay attention to what you're doing. Make sure you're staying positive in all aspects, because it all matters on how you're building your life back up, building yourself and moving forward. April, adjustment time. April, it is adjustment time. The end of last year, moving into this year, has been full of change. It's time to take a breather. Take time this month to relax a little and allow yourself to settle into a new version of you. Once we have gotten down that healing road, we have to take a moment to look back and see how far we've come and appreciate those moments, and also be proud of what we have overcome, all the obstacles that we have surpassed, all of it. And we don't have to constantly be doing. I need to say that out loud to myself every day. Because since I'm done with one project, I'm like, okay, I got to do something else right now.
And that's what they're pushing a lot of us to do. And it is for a reason. And it's good reason. But it's like, if we keep busy and this is what I keep hearing, if we keep busy, we keep attracting the positives to us, because that's what we're putting out. We're doing projects
We're
that
building, we're creating.
yeah.
That's right.
So, and you've got to be doing that.
When you're not busy, you're in your head and you're tearing things apart. You can't do that. So I said in April, it says, take your time transitioning from that old you. Say your goodbyes to that old life, because you will never see it again. Oh my gosh. Freaking chills all over. Make more room, May. With so many changes taking place over the past 12 months or more, you may want to consider a big clear out of anything that no longer serves a positive purpose in your life. That means anything and everything. And also, travel plans for next May are in the highlight. Joyous Journey June. June will bring us lots of laughter, fun, and joy along with the journey on this new level. Any obstacles that might appear in June of 2025 will be super short-lived and nothing more than minor annoyances. Thank goodness for that. July, I thought this one was interesting. Jack of all trades, July, which I feel like I'm a jack of all trades all the time. July will make you feel like you're a jack of all trades. You'll be wearing so many hats this month. There's a lot to be done and even more coming up. So you're going to get real busy next July. Don't stress and don't worry.
I call it creativity ADHD.
Yeah.
You've got it, Dad, and so do I.
Yeah. Don't stress. Don't worry. You were made for this. Everything you've been through, everything you've learned over the years has brought you right to where you are right now. And you've got this. I think I fully believe that. August, action plan August. This month has a super focus on the plan moving forward. There are so many details and all of them are important. So you need to go over that plan again and again to make sure you're not missing anything. Stick to the plan, but if it needs to be adjusted, remember that you have the power to change it at any time. And if there are any adjustments, it's only going to be minor adjustments. Now, this one I found really interesting. Secret Weapon September. The knowledge you have on matters others know nothing about is your secret weapon. You'll be utilizing this knowledge a lot over the next couple of months, paying attention to what's being said and what's being done around you. You have knowledge they know nothing about, and you'll be using that to your advantage when needed.
Well, yeah. That's kind of like, like a good thing. I mean, we have to be aware of what's going on, and we're those people that kind of stand. I know you and I. We kind of stand back and we watch the entire picture.
Yeah.
And we do our
Look, it's 222.
Oh well, there you go. That's 322 here, but that's okay.
Yep.
But yeah, so taking a read on the room, as they call it, is a good thing. It's something that we need to do sometimes, because a lot of us. And I've done this before. I don't do it a whole lot anymore because I've learned. But, don't just jump into something that you're not sure what the outcome is going to be, or something that you're just like instinct is kicking in, like that fight or flight thing.
Yeah, fight or flight.
And you're not paying attention enough to figure out.
But just don't go forward blindly. Really know what you're getting into. Take that time. You have earned it. You deserve the time to take things slow and go at the pace that you feel comfortable with. 100%. Don't try to let anybody push you into doing something too quickly.
There's a lot of times that people kind of try to guilt you into helping or into doing something, and you really don't want to, but you kind of feel bad if you're going to say no. Just say no.
Yeah,
a lot of us fall into that trap, and we wind up getting sucked into things that none of our business, or we don't need to deal with. And what happens is we enable the people that suck us into it, fix this for us, help us with. We enable them, and they never learn their lessons, and then we get the lesson over and over and over.
Yep. So October. Remember, this is October 2025, not this October. On point October. Your intuition is on point, and you trust it, and you utilize it all through the month. You trust yourself more than ever to make the right choices. There's no second guessing. Your instincts guide you right to where you need to be at all times. Others are going to be asking how on earth you're making such great moves. You are in sync with your purpose. Oh my God. I mean, the hair on my legs, my stubble on my legs is sticking up. The road you're finally on is the road you've been aiming for your whole life. Oh my God. Freaking A. You knew you would get here. You just didn't know when or how. So you're there. I mean, ooh, just imagine if you turn off the noise of the rest of the world, turn off the noise inside yourself of your fears and doubts and worries, and focus on creating something, whatever it is that you want. Think about how far you can be in a year.
Yeah. You can how far you can even be in a day or a week if you allow it to happen. And Chloe's like, yeah, I feel like I'm that person who feels guilt if they say no to someone. That's just kind of one of those things that I think society has taught us over the years, and it kind of keeps us in that space. I know when I was growing up, and you too, when you were growing up, it was our grandparents and our parents that were telling us, oh, you need to put yourself last. You need to do what, help people. And you can't help people.
You can't put yourself last. You have to be at the top of the list in order to help everyone else at a high level, otherwise you're just drowning.
Yeah. It happens quick. And I also brought up the other day, and this is something kind of in that thing too, is you have to be able to ask for assistance or help if you need it. There's nothing wrong about us not being able to do something or not understanding something, or even physically or emotionally. If you're not feeling great, you need to reach out and feel okay doing that, because we do support other people, because that's what we're here for, is to support each other. I don't mean getting sucked into people's drama.
Right. No to the drama.
Yeah, but if you need assistance with something, reach out, because you won't grow. You'll stay in that place because you're keeping yourself in that place. Not because
exactly.
The universe wants you in that place, but you're just not letting it go. So,
that's right.
And I know I've done that in my lifetime a few times, like in the decades, and it's not a fun place to have to pull yourself up. But as soon as you reach out and ask and acknowledge that you can't do everything on your own, is when stuff turns around.
Yeah. Well, just think, this time last year, I was just writing my books, just learning how to do the illustrations and everything, just figuring it out. I published my first one in April, and here I am 100 books later.
Yeah, well, you're, like I said, creative ADHD on high alert steroids.
Okay, so let's get to November. Nice seeing you in November. This is a good one. The old you is so far gone, there's nothing left of the person you once were. The past is dead and buried. There are new roads in front of you, and they have nothing to do with the old version of who you ever were. You and you alone have built this new road, and you can be proud of the progress you've made. There is excitement in the air and a feeling of pure freedom with each step forward. You have spent a lifetime working toward the goals you've already reached. New goals are now in sight, and you'll be smashing all of them with ease. You carry yourself differently, and everyone can see this new you. You're like a new shiny penny. Well, you're trusting yourself. You're in the flow with your purpose.
You can't do that, Chloe. You have to stop doing it. You have to help yourself first. That's how you're going to grow. And you don't need everybody else.
100% stop doing that. You got to understand that you deserve the same time, love, and consideration. And you can't expect that time, love, and consideration from other people. So you got to give it to yourself first, and show other people how to love you and how to care for you.
And the other thing is, Holly, like she said before she started giving these predictions for the rest of this year and into next year, these are positives, okay? So these are positive things that we put out, to other people to help guide them. But don't be fooled, because there'll be people also putting out negatives.
Oh, okay? 100%.
You need to stay away from people like that are all doom and gloom, because
Well, the people that are trying to tell you that you can't or you won't and all that, it's because they're afraid that you will and you're going to prove them wrong. And if you do something they say you can't, it's really that they think that they can't. And when you do it, oh shit, now I have to up my game. Now I have to try to level up. Now they did it, so there's no reason why I can't do it. And they don't want to be told that. They don't want to be shown that.
it's all the state of mind.
Yeah.
It's all the spin that you put on it for yourself to be able to feel good.
When you help yourself, you can help everyone else much better and more efficiently.
I had a gentleman, actually, I got groceries delivered this past week, and the past month I had the same gentleman wound up delivering them, and his wife had passed away last year, and his dog passed away a month ago, and he's probably about 71, 72, nice man. And I'm so grateful that they deliver now from the store because I don't drive anymore and stuff. It's really easy for me. And he came out and he said, things aren't like they were when we were kids. And I said, oh, absolutely not. He said, people aren't kind to anybody anymore. They're guarded, they're cruel. And he says, that's why he enjoys some of us that he delivers for. And I told him, I said, you know what? I appreciate you. You may think that you don't matter, but you matter to me because you're helping me. I go, yeah, the store hired you, but you took that step and now you're helping me and probably a lot of other people. People sometimes just need to keep in around positives. You can say no to people, but in the same breath, you can tell them it's okay. It's not that you don't matter. I've just got other things going on.
You know what I like to do, because coming from my background of having to train agents and everything into doing things that a lot of times they could figure it out, but they didn't want to. They wanted somebody to do it for them. And if they came to me and I couldn't, I would always say to them, I'll be happy to show you how.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it for you.
Yep.
So now, that's what it's all about, showing other people how to do things. And you got to lead by example. So if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not loving yourself, if you're not giving yourself the same love, time, and consideration, you're showing them how to treat you and showing them how they should treat themselves as well.
Yeah.
So you have to level up your own love and kindness to yourself and your relationship you have with yourself, to show other people that it's okay for them to love themselves and be kind to themselves too.
Somebody said to me the other day, oh, so-and-so's doing this, and oh my gosh, I can't believe blah, blah, blah. I go, okay, so?
What does it matter what other people are doing?
It's like, who cares? Like,
yeah.
Why?
Let them destroy themselves. Let them destroy their world. Doesn't mean you have to be pulled into that drama. People are going to send you invitations to their drama all the time. You do not have to accept any of them.
No, and helping people who ask for help is not the same as people pulling you into their drama.
Right, that's different. Because those people don't want help. They love the drama. They like being in the middle of that shit. They don't want to be out of it. They just want more people to join them so they don't have to feel guilty about it. So let's get to the last month of 2025, December. Do you see what I see, December? It's time to start sharing your visions. And I encourage everybody, you don't have to do like me and Bear and put your whole life story out there for the world to talk about. But start, whether you're writing it for yourself, putting it in a journal yourself, or if you're actually sharing it with the world, put it down somewhere. Your story matters. You matter. It says there are people that need to see what you see. You'll now be able to connect and share in ways you never could before. The stage is yours, and people are watching, listening, and ready to hear what you have to say. And I think that's a lot in the past. People were so shut down that they weren't ready to hear a lot of it. But now people are getting themselves, there's been a lot of barriers and walls broken down over the past few years. And people are more than ready to hear something different now.
Yeah. Well, and I look at you and I look at me, and my kids every now and then they'll bring it up. Why do you put all this stuff up and out there? Why do you talk about like everything that's going on, good, bad, and different? I said,
Why
because
not?
they're not different than anybody else, and people need to know that they're not the only ones that has shit happen to them, right? Or have good things happen to them, or
Right.
whatever. We're human, and I told her I'm an open book. I can look back at my life, and I did some crappy things to people sometimes when I was in my younger years, and I wish I could go back and change it for them, but I can't. So I do my best now not to ever do that again.
Right.
And but we're not perfect. And Holly's the same way. She tells everybody her story because by doing this, we assist other people who may be going through similar things.
That's right. Exactly. If they don't know your story, if you don't know, they don't know the hell you've been through. People make up stories about you and they, what's the word? There's so many misconceptions and misunderstandings. But if you tell the truth and tell your story, you just never know who it's going to affect and in what way.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. That's how oral traditions with many cultures were passed down. They did that. They spoke about their lives and told stories, and that's how they learned. That's how they kept languages alive. That's how they move forward in their own lives. And if we don't do that or continue to do that, it amazes me sometimes because people will come and say, well, this and this, and I say, well, do you know what your family line has been? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, like your grandparents and your great grandparents and your
Just like I said in one of those visions about we are a new generation of cycle slayers. We are now going to put an end to all the toxic cycles that have been running through our families and our lives for centuries.
But don't you laugh when you see like I don't even remember why I put it up. There was something going on and somebody asked me about old pictures. So I had posted old pictures of my grandmother, right? And I kind of laughed because she was in Atlantic City and it was during Prohibition. And she was sitting on the boardwalk up in Atlantic City with her best friend. And they had those carnival placards, how they painted clowns or stuff on. And, she was a beautiful young gal. And it was my mom that adopted me's mom. And I've told this story that, she and my mom's father never got divorced. They both remarried, but they both used their spouse's name as their father or mother. And it's a stitch. And people are like, oh my God, they did that. Oh my God, they danced like that. Oh my God. We're all young at one point, right? We're all young. And
you don't know what you don't know yet, right?
Yeah, you tend to forget. Like one of my favorite all-time things to do, even when I was a kid, was talk to older people, like the grandmas and grandpas. I used to go sit with them. I like hearing their stories.
Me too. I sat with the older people more than I sat with people my own age when I was young, when I was a kid.
Yep. And you learn so much from them. The neighbor I used to have, I called her Mama Jane. She was 96 when she passed, and she used to come up here every warm summer till September, right? Like May to September. Her kids who were adults my age would come up, to make sure she was good, and I kept an eye on her too. And the stories she could tell me, like about World War II and the Korean War and how economics were, but that's history. That's not reading it in some book that some people put in to sway or show there's the only one side.
It's a first-hand count.
So we need to learn to share. So again, but that's a positive. It's also giving our elders in our communities and in our families purpose. They feel they're being seen. And we need to do that with people because there's so many people out there that's just what they want to be acknowledged. It's kind of the same thing with spirit, right? Oh, I have a dark shadow. I have a shadow person in my house and blah, blah, blah. And I'm really scared. But that's just somebody trying to manifest so that you can see them. It's not all evil. It's not all like certain people have it on TV shows. I'm not saying that stuff can't happen that way. But a lot of times when they finally put the pieces together of it, it's like, oh my gosh, it was my grandma. Or, oh my gosh, it was my brother. Or, oh my gosh, it was, whatever. And it's like, to me, it's like they want to be seen, just like we do. As human beings, we want to be noticed. We want to be seen. Do we all want to be in a circus, in a ring, ringmaster of the circus? No. But everyday life, even giving somebody a smile or just acknowledging them. I've told that story how many times. When I worked at Children's Hospital, we had a pharmacist. She was a bitch, and nobody liked her. And she was crabby, and she was grumpy, and she was like young. She was like her late 20s, right? So I'd always walk by her, and I'd say, "Hey, good morning, Heather. How you doing today?" And she'd just look at me, give me dirty looks. So I did that every day. Never said anything bad to her. Just said, "I hope you had a great weekend," or "Hope you're having a good week," or whatever. Every single day I worked with her. It took a year and a half. And then one day I was going up to my unit, up to the ICU, and I passed her because she was coming down off the elevator. And I looked up, I said, "Hey, Heather, how you doing today?" And she goes, "I'm doing fine. How are you doing?" A year and a half, okay? But I got into what she needed to have. And what did it cost me? Just hi. Right? Just a smile and a hi. So can you imagine if everybody brings in all those positives and follow what you're saying, right? How many people we can change the outcomes of their lives because maybe they're just need to be seen.
Here's something I would like to challenge you all to do is take a moment to make your own predictions. Do it for the rest of this year. Just write something. I don't care how crazy, far-fetched it may seem. Put something out there. Put it out to the universe. This is going to be my April, my May, my June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. This is what my year is going to look like. This is how it's going to go.
Very specifically, and
you will be amazed at what actually happens and what actually comes true, and then do it again for next year. I don't care how far you want to go. Just write it. Put it out there. And you don't have to post it anywhere. You just need to keep it for yourself. If you want to post it, by all means, post it, but you don't have to. You'll rarely see me post anything negative because being in a negative mindset isn't going to help anyone with anything. Focusing on the gloom and doom, the drama, the horrible things that are going on in the world, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It means I'm not focusing on those things. I'm not going to let my energy be pulled into those things, and I'm not pulling that negative energy into my energy.
Right. And
I see them. I know it exists, but I don't have to get in the middle of all that energy.
Yeah.
I'm not sucking it in. That door is closed for me.
Well, I look back.
What do I usually say, Bear?
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. There's the door. Go on with yourself. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
And last year when I busted my leg, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, seriously?" And I still wasn't doing. That's what I was told. You were still not doing what we asked you to do. I go, "But did you have to do it that way?" And they're like, "Well, you weren't paying attention to it in any other way. So what happened?" I got put where I had to do what they were saying and asking me to do.
Yep.
And I probably would have never met those people, would have never seen those people, never had those discussions if I hadn't been there. And they just said, "Well, you were not taking the easier path, so we made you do the stumble I got it path." So don't do that. If you're pushed and you feel something's right and you need to do it, make sure what you're doing is good for you, but do it. And God, don't ever put out your board. I still
do it for all the right reasons, and make sure you're not doing anything out of fear and doubt and worry and making stressed out decisions, because that's not going to be the right decision for you.
Yeah. And don't let other people
Bill, you got so much to do. I don't even know why you're sitting here talking to us. I mean, you should be working. Like, haven't they given you something to do? They're going to give you more. I'm going to send my little fairy friends. I'm going to send my little fairy friends over to help you out.
No. And I did. I started, but then I got it started, got it set out, and I started it. But then I was like, you know how you get in a zone when you're doing creative stuff and you're
yeah. You're talking to me? Oh, I don't know anything about that, Bear.
But you just sit there and you get in that groove, and I couldn't do that because I had this to do today. So I was like starting it, and I was like, oh, because it's detailed, and it's like, yeah, no, if I get into this detail so tight, I will be doing nothing else. And that's just it. When we do this, and I know you too, it's like everything else shuts off. And luckily, you work where you are that you can do that. And I can't sit that long. I have to move. So I have to remind myself because my body doesn't want to stay in that position.
I've got this fabulous thing. It's called a vibration plate. From time to time, I get up and I go stand on the vibration plate.
Oh, that might be interesting.
It helps your circulation and everything.
The kids told me they want to get me a chair that does that.
The plate is good. You can sit on it. You can just sit on it if you want to. Stand on it, sit on it.
A vibration plate?
I'll show you. Just come to the back with me for a moment. Come up to the back room. Let me show you what I've got.
She's got her own earth plates.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh, it looks like a scale.
It looks like a scale, but it is not. You turn it on. Power on. Mode. And then, here I go. I'm going to stand on it, you guys, and you're going to see me jiggle. Whoa.
Oh, wow. That's...
And this is just on a low level. It goes really high. Like, I don't know. Can you see me jiggling?
Yeah, I can see you jiggling. Yeah. It helps you? It makes you feel better?
Oh, yeah. It gets your circulation going. 15 minutes on this is like an hour run.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I got to stop. I got to get off. Can't do that and hold the camera at the same time. It's a vibration plate. You can get them on Amazon. They're pretty cheap now.
Okay.
But they're great because they've got tons of different levels. You can be on there. You can set the time. You can just do it 5 minutes at a time if you want to.
That's what I was referring to, Chloe. I was like, yeah, a vibrating toy.
No, no, that's an actual vibration plate. And being on it for 15 minutes is like running for an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it gets your circulation going, huh?
I wonder if my legs would hold up on it.
Yeah, they would. They would. It's there's so many different levels. You can put it on the lowest level and it's a gentle rocking. And the funny thing is that if I stand straight, my whole body shakes. But if I bend my knees slightly, then only the lower half of my body will shake, not the upper half.
Oh, that's interesting.
Just by bending your knees ever so slightly.
I'll have to look into that.
Don't fall off the chair. Let's shake things up.
Well, I know you got a meeting today, and I've got to get back
to
my stuff.
I'm about to go to a $14 million house. They have the builder on this particular house has imported all this stuff from Europe. Doing the live shows while sitting on the vibration plate. That would be interesting.
We had, what was it? Oh, Chloe, I don't think you were there when Sean did this. This was like, I think it was in 2020 because everybody was just helping each other get through the pandemic. And we wanted him to know what it felt like to carry and birth a baby. What are you doing back there? Why are you mad? You're making weird noises. And we got him, they ordered it off of Amazon, and it was electrodes that you put on your stomach, and it was like Bex had the knob.
Oh, it's the simulator. It's the period pain simulator, the birthing simulator.
And put it on, and he's like, oh, that's no big deal. I said to Bex, turn it up, crank it up. And, oh, well, that's okay. And he's like, oh. And then she put it to 10. Give it to him. And she did it. Oh my God, we were all laughing. We were just dying. He was like, oh my God, shut it up. It's like this all the time. Like, can you imagine having a baby? Like, hello. So yeah.
Well, yeah, and the period cramp simulator. I mean, men do it for a moment, and they can't handle it. We have to deal with it all day long for a week. And then, but carry on with a smile and carry on doing everything that we do anyway.
Have you seen that new thing? And I'm going to leave us with this laugh because we all need a good laugh. Have you seen the thing where it's going around on TikTok where the woman and her boyfriend or her father or her dad or her husband or whatever, or kid, they get down on their hands and knees like this.
Oh yeah. And then they put their hands behind their back. Men can't do it. They don't have the same balance. They don't have the same, their center of gravity is different. That's why they can't do it. And also the broom, if you hold a broom in front of your feet, women can step over it, but men have trouble.
Yeah, they fall.
Yeah.
I don't know who thought of that, but I was like, wow. I wonder if that's because we do have children, we bear children.
We have a different center of gravity, is what it is. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
We engage those muscles we know we need to use.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Well, we love you guys, and we will see you next week. And maybe if everybody's good, we might be able to do some reads for you guys next week.
Yeah, and if you follow me over on TikTok, today I'm going to try to sneak some videos of this $14 million house I'm about to go to.
I can't even imagine. Although house prices are still really high right now.
Yeah. Well, they've imported a lot of the materials from Europe, all over Europe. These is an extremely high-end custom home. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
When I built my home up here that we lost, when I built it, we were in it 12 years, but I used all natural stuff. Like I cut a tree down, left the bark on, and the entire tree was molding around my house, like on the bottom. I took antiques and I took things that were done the old way. I had a tile guy come in and he taught me how to lay tile, and I actually had relief tiles that I made to put up. And so I miss the old homes because they had such craftsmanship in them. Like, you can't find masons anymore.
Yeah, this builder wanted to bring the old world into the new world and combine things with, the
and now he wants
technology. And so they have gone all over Europe and pulled in different tiles and like the mantelpieces and all sorts of things from 100 years ago. And they have put it in this house. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, put it up. We want to see it. All right, guys.
Trying to do some short videos on it.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week. And everybody have a great weekend. Take care. Bye.
See ya.